is the pattern exactly matches with the string. Okay, so if the pattern exactly, so we are going to define a pattern and we are going to put an input string, so it is going to match against the string. Okay, so if the string contains all the criteria of the regular expression pattern, then it returns true. Okay, it returns true. Let's see these things. So real time also we will use the regex. Okay, if you learn it here, so it will be easy because the same regex pattern is going to use in React, in Angular, in any way. Okay, but the way of implementation is different. But the way of writing the pattern is exactly the same, and how does it works the same. Okay, how to create a regex pattern. So I need a variable to store the pattern. So I have a variable called pattern is equal to new regex. Okay, regex. So it accepts two things. One is pattern. Next, it also expect attributes. Attributes. So this how the regex pattern is going to be designed. Okay, but so this is how it looks like the syntax. So before that one, I'll take a variable called pattern. Pattern is equal to, see, I'll use 2. Okay, so 2, I want to search it globally inside a string. I'm looking for this pattern. Okay, I'm looking for any string contains 2. Okay, I'm looking for this pattern. So I want to search. See, G stands for globally, the entire globally. Okay, the entire string. So I'll take another string. Okay, const string is equal to welcome to JS. So there are two ways we can able to yeah, there are two ways we can able to match it. Either using test, okay, pattern dot test, or in JavaScript strings we have called match method. Okay, we are using to this basically match method we are using to verify against the regex. Okay, so first I will explain uh, regex method called test. See, const result is equal to, so pattern dot test string. So log res. So it returns true. Why? See, my regex pattern contains this pattern TO. Okay. See, my string contains this regex pattern. So it returns true. Understood? So basically test or else. So we have another way. Okay. So the second way. So basically I'll use a match. Okay. When I use a match, it creates a array. Okay. Basically, if I use a string, Okay, basically, if I use a string match method, so if the string matches with the regex pattern, it creates an array. Okay, if it is doesn't contains, it creates an empty array. I'll keep it as it is. See, observe const result is equal to so string dot match. Okay, string dot match. I'll use pattern. Okay, it creates an array basically. Understood? So look at another pattern. So I want to check only against numbers. Okay, if the basically I'm trying to do validate a mobile number. Okay, so now tell me what are the criteria of a mobile number? So how does the mobile number is been structured? So of course, mobile number should start with either 8 or 9 or 7. Nowadays, 7 series also has been released. Okay. But basically, I'm trying to validate using 8 or 9. Okay. 8, the mobile number, the first number should start with 8. Next, the mobile number should not contain any characters other than numericals. Okay. And the mobile number length should be exactly equals to 10 only. Neither less than 10 nor greater than 10. Okay, so it should exactly matches to 10. So that's what I'm going to do here. So const str, I think we had str, right? Const num, const num is equal to um, 99451184446. Okay, this is a mobile number, right? So I will keep it for your reference. Okay, I will write another matching pattern. So num dot match. See here, I'm going to create a regex pattern. Don't get confused. Okay. So after this one, I will explain how to write all these things. Okay. See in JavaScript. So how to create a regex pattern. So first regex pattern. So you're going to put it as so double slash forward slashes. Okay. Next followed by your regex pattern should starts with caret. Okay, caret symbol and ends with, so you're signifying that the regex pattern is starting here and its end point. Starting point should be caret and ending point should be dollar. Inside this one, you're going to write your regex pattern. So don't worry about these things. So my mobile number should start with 8 or 9, 8 or 9. The first number should be 8 or 9. Next, my mobile number should contain after 8 or 9. The first characters 8 or 9. That's it, done. So after the remaining number should be in the range of 0 to 9. Okay. Okay. So the first character has already been taken, 8 or 9. Okay. What are the remaining characters? How many characters we are left? 9. Because 1 is already done. See, the first character should be, the first number should be 8 or 9. So it's done. So the remaining 0 to 9. So the length should be 9, right? So you use a curly braces there. I'm going to put, it should exactly matches with 9. Okay. See now. So now it's matching with this pattern. So my mobile number is starts with 9. And also after this, since we already added the first digit. So the remaining 9 digits. Okay. So we have exactly 9 digits. That too, it contains 0 to any number between 0 to 9. It's match array. If it is doesn't match, see my mobile number is start with 7. Okay, now it fails because according to my pattern, the number should either start with 8 or 9. But this time the number is starting with 7. So it returns null, right? It returns null. Now tell me, what are the truth and false values in JavaScript? I've already explained in the second class itself only.
False means 0, true means 1.
Okay, truth and false values. 0, empty string, okay, undefined, null, and nan, not a number. Okay, so these are the false values. Apart from this, all are true, right? Since my pattern does not exactly match, see my string, what are the string I'm passing here is not at all match with my pattern. It fails, so it returns null. So we are using this if inside this if condition, we can easily validate because inside the if condition, if it is a false value, if condition never ever executes, right? So we can get using this match, we can easily match any regex pattern. Okay. So just now written a pattern, right? Now I will explain how to write this pattern for your all your inputs. Okay. So for this one, so I'm going to give a set of instructions. So try to follow the instruction. If you understand these instructions and all these modifiers and quantifiers and range selectors, you can easily write these things. So I'll start from the beginning. So you can keep it as a formula. Okay, it's exactly like say formulas. Okay, mathematical formulas will be all right. So if you understand, if you keep it, in your future also, it's really helpful. So first thing I'm going to explain is called brackets. Brackets. So what exactly? So this is a bracket. The square brackets. Okay. So what exactly it does? It defines a range of characters. Okay. It helps to defines the range of characters. Okay. See, I have a brackets. Inside this bracket, I'm trying to write A, B, C. That means my pattern, my string exactly contains only A, B, C. A, B, or C. Then only it returns true. Okay. Then only it returns true. Otherwise, it returns false. So my string should exactly contains A, B, or C. That's it. Okay. Then only it returns true. Next. Negation like caret ABC. Now, my regex should contains any characters except this ABC. It's a negation. My regex contains any characters, but not that that should not includes this ABC. That if you use a cap, okay. So any characters but except ABC, A, B, or C. Next. So A to Z. Okay, so my regex pattern, so my string contains any characters between small a to small z, lowercase a to lowercase z. So any characters A, B, C, A to Z, you know these things, right? All alphabets of lowercase. Any characters from small a to lowercase a to lowercase z. Next, A to Z. Any characters between uppercase. So capital A to capital Z. Okay, the same thing. So here only specific ABC. Now it's a completely range from small A to Z. Any characters. Any characters from A to Z. Next. So I should include both lowercase and uppercase. How to write this one? A to Z as well as A to Z. Now it contains any characters of A to Z, includes both uppercase and lowercase. Okay. Basically, I've just combined these two things. That's it. Right? Any characters from A to Z or A to Z. Okay. Now tell me again. So my string contains any numbers between 0 and 9. Okay. Next, my string should not contains it contains any characters but not 0 to 9. Negation. Like this. Understood? So this is all about brackets. So how to define a range of characters, you can see here. Next we called quantifiers. Quantifiers. So basically quantifiers means how many quantity, means how many times it should be repeated. Okay. It tells, okay, which gives the information about repetition. How many times it should be repeated? Because the character keeps on repeating in a string, right? So we need to tell. So we need to tell how many times it should be repeated. A repetition. So after this brackets, see what are the brackets we've seen. So after this bracket, if I use question mark, after defining a range, if I use a question mark, so what exactly contains? So this entire patterns should be 0 times or only 1 times. It occurs 0 times, means it might not be there, or if it is there, it should be only 1 times, not more than 1 times. Okay. Occurs 0 or 1. Okay, 1 time. Next, I'm using a plus. Okay, after this defining the range, if I use a plus symbol, so this pattern, whatever the pattern I've defined inside this brackets, so it occurs minimum 1 time, maximum any times. It's infinite. So I'm not restricting, but it should minimum 1 time. So earlierly it might be 0 or it should be 1. 0 to 1 only. But here minimum 1 time, maximum could be any time. Occurs minimum 1 or more times. Next, after this quantify brackets, so if you use asterisk, okay, if you use asterisk, so asterisk 6, so it occurs 0 times. It might not be occur or more, or means any times, 0 or more times. Next, so I have a brackets. Next, see, I'm going to define this time a range, a specific range. So till now we have discussed about either 0 or 1, or minimum 1 or more, or 0 or more. But I have a definite times of repetitions on the time. So I'll use n. Means after this defining the range, okay. So if you use a n means a number. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So 0, 1, 2, 3 or 10, 15. Okay. So your pattern should repeat only n times. So that's what I defined here. It. So my pattern exactly matches with the 9 times. So the number should repeat 9 times. Any number from 0 to 9 should repeat 9 times. Okay. So that's what I have defined is the range here. Understood. Next. So here I'm trying to do a strict length. Okay. So only n times. That's it. 9 is 9. That's it. Not more than 9, not less than 9. Okay. Now, but I have a range like, so minimum 9, maximum could be around any times. So on the time, so put n and take a comma and leave the second one as it is. Now, minimum n times and maximum any times, like more times. So you need a lot of practice, then only you'll come to and of means hands on all these things. Okay, so because first time if you see you will get confusing. Okay, so don't worry, so keep on repeating this thing. I will give you one good website to pattern match this all this pattern. Okay, so try to go that website and try to validate some different strings and all these things. Okay, so it will really handy for you. So the trans occurs n or more times, n or more times. Next, but I have a definite range, minimum 3 times, maximum 5 times. So till now we have only exactly 9 times, or minimum 9 time, or maximum could be anything, but I have a definite range, minimum 3, maximum 5, like these things on the time. So you can see x comma y. Now it should be minimum 3 times and maximum 5 times, like these things. So it's a completely definite range. Occurs at least x times and less than y times. Okay. Okay, so this is all about quantifiers. I think from these quantifiers we can define any definite range. Okay. Next, we have a modifiers. So G, I already showed this. G means so perform global match. Perform global match. Next, I. So case insensitive match. Okay. So it performs case insensitive match. Next, M. So if you have a multi-line strings, okay, multi-line strings on the time, so you need to use, so performs multi-line matching. Performs multi-line matching. Okay. Next, see this topic. What are the see? I am going to explain the meta characters. So so try to do the practice from these patterns only for the being a beginner. So once you get a proficiency here, so you have become good with these patterns. So then go for these meta characters. Okay, so meta characters is easy to write a syntax. Syntaxically, it's easy to write. That's it. So functionality wise, everything is same, but we are going to use a synthetic syntax wise. It's really easy to write. So regex meta characters. So what are the regex meta characters? See, if I use C backward slash D, it means it's exactly equals to like these things. So decimal number like 0 to 9. Instead of writing 0 to 9. So whatever the written here, so we were using the shortcuts. Okay, 0 to 9, like this thing. The same. Instead of writing 0 to 9, I'm using it directly a meta characters. It's an aliasing, right? Basically, it's an aliasing. Or if you want to write an easy syntax, so being so in real time we will use these meta characters only. Okay, like slash D, like these things, because we are not going to reach 0 to 9, all these things. But being a beginner, try to work with these things. Do not start with the here only. Okay. So I'll remove this one. So keep it as it is. Next, if I say backward slash capital D, it's exactly equals to, so you know this one, right? Negation of 0 to 9. Means any characters except 0 to next. So small w. See, observe. Uppercase W, lowercase w, both meanings are different. Means so any characters between A to Z, capital A to Z, and 0 to 9. Okay. So now tell me capital W now. It's a negation of any characters, but that should not includes what are the things? Negation of negation of W. Means any characters that should not includes A to Z, uppercase A to Z, lowercase A to Z, and 0 to 9. So it's basically it's a negation, opposite to these things. It's like special symbols you want to accept, you can write these things. Next. So yes, if you want to check, do we have a space or not? So space is one of the character, right? So how do you going to define space? So in order to do this one, to define space is most important for our backward slash using S. Okay. So if you want to, if your string contains any space or things, okay, space. So if you want to check using backward slash S. Next, what exactly is this backward slash says? So it's we called escape characters, right? So we already seen in the beginning class, right? If you want to define a string, so inside an so like it's 6 o'clock, a first key. Okay. So sometimes so if you use two single quotes inside the same string, it will throw errors like this things, right? There we are using escape characters. What exactly escape character says? So it tells the computer to treat the following character as a search character rather than a matching character. Okay. So escape character tells computer to treat following character as search character for like see if you want to check is your string contains plus symbol, so there also we are going to use escape characters and it contains dot, like all these things, etc. For these types of special characters search, so we have to separate that from the range. Okay, so we need to tell, so this is it should be like an search character, not an regex pattern character. Okay, so there we're going to use this escape characters. Okay, so that's all from regex. Any doubts in regex?
What purpose regex is used?
Yeah, just now you're going to see the practical usage. Wait for 2 minutes. I'll show where do we use regex pattern. Understood regex pattern?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yes. Sir.
Okay, now come back to our project forms. Okay, small project. So I'm going to use this regex pattern and I will do validate. See, I say yesterday, a full name contains two parts. One is first name as one is last name. Sometimes we have middle name also, but here I'm gonna only concentrate on the first name and last name. Okay, so how do you gonna differentiate a first name? So we're going to separate by a space, right? So if Nishant Avasti, Nishant is the first name, space Avasti is the last name. Okay, we need to check is the string contains first name and last name. So first name should also a definite range, right? So the first name, so if I say W, it's not a first name. Okay, no one's name, first name is only one single cat, right? So minimum 3, Ram, minimum 3 characters. Or some Spanish like La, LA, minimum 2 characters. Okay, but here we are going to do Indian regex patterns matching. Okay, names matching. So in our Indians, so all the names will always start with minimum 3 characters. Okay, let's do this validation.
So 60th line.
60th.
60th line.
Okay.
Forward slash negations. What is that thing?
No, it's not a negation. I told you in JavaScript, if you want to define, so I want to tell the JavaScript, so my regex pattern is starting. So it will signifies, it symbolize that your, so the user is starting a regex pattern.
Okay.
Okay, means it tells the regex pattern is ending.
Dollar symbol.
Okay, dollar symbol. So starting and ending. If you want to include these character and dollars also inside a pattern, you're using escape characters. You know this one, escape characters, right? So there also we can use this. But basically, so in JavaScript, so every programming language is a different way of implementation of regex. In JavaScript, we will use it using like these things. Understood? So it's a starting. I'm telling the JavaScript. So the regex pattern is starting. It's a starting point, and I'm telling it's ended. Okay, ending and starting points. That's it. Okay, we'll come back to the project. It's taking so time. Okay. So I'll go for my validation function. I will write another if block. So to match the pattern, so I'm going to another write if block. If. So now tell me on which variable our string has been stored this time inside the name variable, right? So whenever this function executes, so inside the name variable, our string, whatever the input name I have provided is going to be stored. Okay. So I will check against the match. If name dot match. Match. Okay. See, of course, if if I found the matches, so it returns, basically it returns an array. Array is true, right? Basically it returns an array. Array is true. So if it is doesn't matches, it returns null. This is what we have seen in the last section, right? Okay. So of course, so I want to execute whenever I got a null. So since if I got a null, it's a false value, it will not going to execute. I want to make it a true. So how are you going to make it a true? Using negation, not operator. Okay. So if it returns null, then only if block will execute. If it returns any array, so it becomes true. Now it becomes make it false. Now if block will not going to execute. Okay. So now I'll start with the pattern. Now how to write a pattern? So starting with caret and ends with dollar. My name should contains, see, capital A to Z, small a to Z. Okay, only that's it. Name should not includes numbers. Okay, capital A to Z and small a to Z. It's a first name. Basically, treat it as a first name. So the minimum length of the first name should be 3. Maximum could be anything. I'll keep it as it. See, minimum 3, maximum, comma, I leave it as it is. I'm not going to restrict for the maximum limits also. Minimum 3, maximum could be anything. Next. So, and also it contains space. How to write a space? Escape character S. Okay. So after this minimum, it should contain one space followed by So how many spaces? One space, right? I want to put a definite range, only one space, not more than this one space. Next. So the second name, the last name contains, okay, any characters between A to Z or small a to Z. Okay. See, the last characters minimum one, maximum could be anything like Shashidhar H. H is a surname. So it could be minimum one, maximum anything. So at least can you use plus? So question mark minimum 0 or 1 plus minimum 1 or more asterisk minimum 0 or more. But here I'm expecting minimum 1 or more. Or you can do this also, no issue. You can write it also 1 comma like this also works. But we have a better way of implementation. Why do you want to write these things? So you only plus. Understood? Minimum 1 or more. Okay. So now it's going to match against this pattern. Okay. So the same, I will use the same error message here. The same. So inside this one, I'm going to put a different error message. See this time, so whenever the empty, so it will throw name is required. So if I'm not providing a proper name, so I'll put a different error message like write full name. Like I'm going to for a custom error message. All right. Full name. Understood? Let's save it and execute this one. See, I touched, I left, name is required. If I straight right, see, since for every keystroke, it's going to check this against my regex pattern. Still, the pattern doesn't match us. It will still throwing error. M A N O H A. Once I private space, once I put a key, now it matches. Now it matches. Understood? See, minimum one space, and after putting only one character, the second name, first characters, it matches because it's a valid full name. The full name contains both the first part and the last part. See, if your character is less than 2, see, long space, it will throw errors. Pablo Escobar. You know this Pablo Escobar, right? Pablo. Okay. It's a Spanish, it's a Mexican, right? See, it doesn't match because the first character should be minimum 3 characters. Okay, like Ram Charan. So now it matches. Understood? Why we use regex? Just now someone asked me. Understood? See, this type of validation is really easy to using regex pattern. We can easily write it. But of course, using this one, JavaScript also we can do these things. Get it and split it and checks its contents, a string or length, all these things. We can do these things. Programmatically, everything is possible. But it's a better way of implementation, right? Why do you want to write get and all these things? It will take around 100 lines of additional code. Why do you make my code more burden? So we can use regex. So in industry also we're using the same regex, no issue.
Why the children is under the red color underline in the input box?
Which one?
Ram Charan. Yes, children.
What?
Yeah.
So there it's checking for that. It's an HTML one, right? What do you call it? Spellings.
Okay.
So dictionary. Okay, it's not find any word along with these things. It's dictionary. It's not in JavaScript picture.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
When we are entering anything name or full name, it will automatically take it into caps now.
Yeah, on the time, get it and it will check the first characters. So programmatically, we can do this thing. So it will retrieve it and it will check is the first character is uppercase or not. So you know this one, right? Code character at. Okay, there it will check is the first character is defined in the range of what is that one? Uppercase Okay, if it is not in the definite range, so it's going to convert it and it's going to join back. You can do these things. Everything is possible. Okay, you can do this one. So if you have a passion to do this, you can do these things. If users provides first name and last name, so first letter should be in lowercase, you can make it to uppercase. Well, immediately checking, you can make it to uppercase. No issue. Any doubts with this regex? Okay, so and one more important thing, I will do regex pattern for email field. Okay, so I will create an, so but remaining I will give it to you. Okay, it's a task for you. Okay, understood online.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so because email will be complex, I mean, basically we are going to match with a complex because email structure is completely different. Okay, so basically we are exclusively using regex for email only. Okay, now I will keep it as it is. So from here in this point, validation function for email field now this time. Function for email field. I'm going to write a function. So this function says validate email. Again, so I'm going to check the same thing. I'll copy these things. I hope you understand all these things. Okay. So since instead of, see, first I want to store it in an email, right? Email value. Const email. For every input keystroke, I'll get the current value of the email field, right? Email value dot value. I hope you have already done these things. That's the reason I'm doing like this. So instead of email name, I'll use email. Email dot length. Email should not be empty. On the time, so what is the error message? Email is required. Email is required. Now button is been disabled. So I will write my pattern later on. So I can remove this. No issue. Next, email error. Should be in HTML. Okay, if everything is matches and enable this button, right? Okay, I want to attach the event, right? Email value dot key up validate email. What is the function I want to call? This is the function. And validate email value dot and blur validate email. Okay, here email error. See, email is required. Okay, so this is what I have discussed. Okay, now I'll try to write a regex for this one. If email dot match. Now we'll start the regex. So how to start regex? 2 forward slashes followed by caret and dollars. So now tell me what is the structure of email? Of course, email contains a first username, like username, followed by minimum one @ symbol, only one @ symbol. Next, service provider, email provider like Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, and Outlook. So these are the service providers. Next dot, next domain. So your email exactly matches with these things. Okay. So first we'll go on for the first one. So now I think you already work with emails. You already created emails in Gmails. What are the allowable characters for your usernames? So username contains dot also, underscore, right? So basically I'm going to do from dot, underscore, and hyphen. Okay, so these are the allowable special characters. Okay, so we'll see all these things. I'll put a definite range. So my email contains any characters between A to Z, small a to Z, and 0 to 9. Okay, 0 to 9. And also it contains the first part, it contains dot also. But I can't write directly dot as it is. Okay, why? Because you don't take it as an string. Okay, so I'll use escape character next dot. Okay, so if you want using a special things, you have to tell. Okay, so don't take it as an regex pattern. So make it as an search pattern. It also contains underscore dot underscore. So again, don't use because it's a definite range. So why you using this hyphen? Using a range. So I want to tell, don't consider as a regex pattern, it's a search pattern. So I'm using again escape characters and hyphen. Understood? So my email should matches with these things and I'll use asterisk. Okay, minimum 0 or more. Okay, so next, after username, my email should contains one @ symbol. One @ symbol. Next, after one @ symbol, my email. So class is going on. So 2 minutes. Wait. You same batch. Okay. You came later. Okay. I thought it was second next batch. So one A2. Let's see. Listen, service provider, right? So your email provider. A to Z and A to Z.
8:15.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so wait for 2 minutes or 10 minutes. Okay, I'll call you.
So please.
So A to Z, capital A to Z and small a to Z. So provider. Next, again, it should contain minimum and not more. Okay. Next, so we need a dot, right? So after Gmail dot. So one escape characters dot. Okay. Next, after that, so .com, right? So the .com should not contain any numbers, right? .co, .in, that doesn't contain any numbers, like A to Z. Okay, followed by so I have definite range here. So the domain should be minimum 2 characters, maximum 4. Okay, so these are the this is a regex pattern for my email. Invalid email. So if my whatever the input string doesn't matches with regex pattern of the email, so I'll throw in a custom error message called invalid email, right? Invalid email. Okay, now save it. So if you touch it and leave it, it's an email request. This is the function executes. Next, see, still it's invalid. Do we have this required? No, right? Okay. Okay. Understood. So now my string exactly matches with this regex pattern. It contains first part username, right? So it includes any characters between A to Z and 0 to 9. And also followed by, I have only one @ next followed by, I have the service provider, okay, email service provider. So A to Z minimum 1 or more. Okay. Next followed by dot. So the character should be range, should be 2 to 4. So I'm using 3 characters. Okay. So it's all about regex. So for you, the regex should do, I don't think password doesn't expect any regex. Okay. Yes, regex is there. So you know about, right, how to create a passwords. So the passwords has some criteria. So the password length minimum 6 characters. So take a note of these things. Okay, it's a task for you. So the password length should be minimum 6 characters. Next, it should contains one uppercase, one lowercase, and one number, one numeric, and also it contains one special characters. So this is a task for you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this is a task for you. Next, mobile number. You can do the validation for mobile also. Okay. So the mobile number should start with either 8 or 9. Make it 8 or 9. Or if you want, you can use 7 also. 7, 8, 9. Okay. The first number should start with 7, 8, 9. The remaining 9 should be anything between 0 and 9. So we can do these things. So gender, we don't have any regex. Occupation. So it should be a string always. It doesn't contain a number. Exactly how we are written is. So how we are written for this regex pattern for name field. Okay, but it should not contain any space. Only the first part is fine enough. So occupation minimum 3 characters. Make it a minimum 3 characters. So these are the requirements. So go and complete this one.
So email regex can explain this. Email regex.
Email regex. See, so the first, so until till here, so I'm validating for the username, this part.
Okay.
Okay, this part. Okay, my username contains any characters between small a to z and capital A to Z. Okay, uppercase and lowercase allowable. And also it allows any numbers between 0 and 9. Okay, and also I can use dot. See, observe. MANOHAR. Nohar dot ks@ltts.com. Okay, see, it contains dot also. Okay, or else it contains hyphen also, underscore also. That's what I'm saying. It contains dot, underscore, or hyphen also. But apart from this, if you use dollars, it will throw error because I have not included any dollars in my regex pattern. I only allowed 3 special characters: dot, hyphen, underscore. That's it.
Okay.
Understood? Basically, I'm doing it here.
And very last small letters is in the range of 2 to 4.
Yes. So the domain doesn't contain uppercase. Definitely. So this is my official email ID, LNT. Okay. Okay. See, my domain is .com. Okay. So my domain is .com. So it should not contain capital uppercase, capital letters. Okay. Understood. But my service provider contains capital. See, this is LTTS, my domain, LNT Technology Services. Okay. So this contains uppercase or lowercase. Okay. Any doubts in this regex pattern of email? Okay, I hope you can finish this form. Okay, using regex remaining fields. Okay, once you finish it, so next class we seen once everything is been validated. So how to prepare this data as an object and how to send it back to the backend. We will discuss all these things. Okay, and
Okay,
also,
sir.
yeah. Any doubts?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, when I run the program, the localhost error is showing.
Yeah.
I shared with you, but you didn't.
Yeah. Yesterday, day before yesterday, fully occupied, right? Okay, sorry. So sometimes, so now this critical delay is happening. Okay, some critical delay is happening for us. So that's the reason. Yesterday I slept. It's almost 1 o'clock. Okay, so it will take some time. So no issue. Okay, I will check this one. So I want to see how you're running. Okay, I just seen that screenshot, but I need to see that how it's running. So today afternoon I will be free. Okay, so I will ping you once again.
I referred YouTube also, sir. They're showing, they told that some extension should be included. What extension I didn't.
Yeah. See, without seeing this one, even I can't tell. Okay. So every project is unique. First, we're gonna go through that, what are they done. Okay. So what needs to be required. So just ping me off on the afternoon. Okay. So I will have a look on these things. Okay, that's it. Okay, you can do remaining field validations. So this completes your basics JavaScript. So today it completes your basics JavaScript, fundamentals or phase 1. From tomorrow onwards, okay, it's completely advanced JavaScript. So all the ES6 features. from 2015 to 2022, what they have released, everything will be included. And these classes will be more intense. And also this class onwards will be completely interview oriented. Okay, you will get a lot of questions from interviews. So till now, you will not get any maximum questions interview. Basically, they might ask about what is let var const. Okay, why this is letter const, and also is the JavaScript is dynamic language or a static language? Why we call this? So these are the simple questions. From now onwards, today, tomorrow onwards, so it's advanced JavaScript. So we're going to deep dive into advanced JavaScript. Okay, so it will be around 15 classes again. Okay, so don't miss any classes. So we're going to discuss every class is important here there. Okay, so if you understand the tomorrow's class and day after tomorrow's class, how code executions, all these things, so it will be easy to understand any asynchronous operation in JavaScript. In interview, they will ask how asynchronous operations works, because JavaScript is synchronous, but how does it works asynchronously? This is the main criteria, the main advantage of JavaScript. Okay, so we'll start tomorrow. From tomorrow, we'll start advanced JavaScript. Okay, so
Okay, sir.
that's it.
Okay, thank you.